Hey everyone, I'm Cecil Laird.
Jaime and Fuego here.
And this is your horror show news with booze once again.
Yeah, a little sippy sip.
As we do every single Friday, we come to you guys with what... I just don't know what happened. I hit a hiccup in the road. No, we choose the top news stories in our estimations for the week, and then we talk about them. And clearly I've had one too many pre-news shots today.
There was a little pre-gaming going on.
Holy shitballs. I just got hung up on the worst thing. But
so I'll just jump in then.
Yeah, go for it. We've got eight stories for you this week instead of just 6. I brought this over, didn't even take a drink.
Take a sip. So this is big news, probably the biggest horror news of the week just because of how popular the property is. So The Grudge is getting not a Japanese reboot, it's getting an American reboot. Sam Raimi is going to be producing, and it is being done by the same director.
Is it Sam Raimi producing or is it Sam Raimi's company?
Probably executive producing at that point. But he's listed along with his buddy Rob Tappert or something like that, I want to say. But there is this new director that people were raving about last year. His name is Nicolas Pesce, and he did a film called The Eyes of My Mother, which I don't think either of us have even got around to seeing.
No, that's the other black and white one, right?
Black and white. It was compared to A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Yeah, that's why I was like the other black and white one.
Exactly. So, I mean, this guy he's only got one feature to his name, but if they're tossing him a property like this, that people really enjoyed at least the first Sarah Michelle
Gellar
one.
A lot of people, The Eyes of My Mother popped up on a lot of people's lists of the top horror of last year.
Yeah,
so.
I think Monty said it was one of his favorites of the year, too. So,
that means I will not like it.
Slow and meandrous.
I absolutely have nothing but respect for what could be considered the horror historian, Monty Yazzie, but we just do not see eye to eye on film
different
tastes.
strokes for different folks, dude.
For sure. That's always been the case with me, though. So
yeah.
That's good to hear. I don't know. Here's the thing.
I mean, it's been about 10 years since the Sarah Michelle Gellar one, I think.
What? Since the first one or since the last one? It's probably been about the 10 years since the last one.
Really? You think so?
Oh, no. It's been way longer than 10 years since the first one, I think.
Was it 2002? Damn, I can't remember.
2002. That's like almost 15 years ago.
And plus, the Japanese property has been going since the 90s.
Well, and they just had The Ring versus The Grudge
which I loved
last year,
I thought that movie was great.
That was awesome. So, I'm not sure about this. Here's the thing. The Grudge, at its core, is an idea that can't be done inherently differently because it's a woman that her and her kid were killed by their vengeful husband, and then they become vengeance spirits of the house. So unless they do a whole sort of new take on it, where it's like, if it's an American remake, because the original Grudge did take place in Japan.
Okay.
So if it's an American remake, maybe now it's going to be an American house that gets cursed, like an American family.
Something different with it, for God's sake.
I hope that's what they're going to do. Like, nothing against the Japanese version. That has its place. That is still going because it's so good. But this... let's not do the going to Japan and doing the exact same Sadako thing.
I don't know.
Or is it Sadako or Kayako? I think she's Sadako.
Okay. I can't say that I know. Sadako versus Kayako. That's all that I remember from when we saw the original, or the Versus film, which was very popular. But yeah, this is it's crazy how this is the biggest news bit of the week, and yet I can't really say that either of us are too stoked.
No, actually, I am.
Are you?
If they do what I'm thinking of, I will be more excited about it. If it
distinctive
is going
and
back to
different,
Japan and doing the same thing we've already seen twice before, literally, that would be a bummer.
Everyone has said the style of this director is very kind of sleepy and surreal and strange, and so I don't know, maybe he's going to up his game a little bit and, do something interesting. But how about we jump to the next story? This is a gaming story, so we got to shout out the Twitch channel, guys.
Absolutely, you guys. We have been doing a lot more Twitch plays. In fact, Andrew Mercer, as we record this on Tuesday, he's going to be twitching more Friday the 13th, which is very apropos because he's now played 2 days already. Tonight will be the third day that he's been playing, trying to get better at either killing or surviving.
Mercer's holding it down. Thanks, dude.
So Friday the 13th is a multiplayer survival game. Excuse me. Wow, I'm getting the hiccups.
Hickey.
Jeez, this is not good. Where you can either be a camp counselor trying to survive Jason's attack or be Jason trying to track down the camp counselors. That game has had a bit of a rocky start, except for the fact that it's super popular.
People are playing the hell out of it.
And so they're having trouble getting game matches because there's so many people. And the game essentially wasn't prepared. It was a kickstarted effort that was a different game entirely, that was then morphed into a Jason game.
Once they acquired the rights.
Exactly, and now it's got Tom Savini working on it, and a bunch of other awesome things going on with it.
Talk about up in their game.
There's every Jason you can think about, including the Jason from the original Friday the 13th Nintendo game. The purple Jason is a playable character. So it's done really well. Now, there is another game that came out actually about a year ago on PC that has just been ported to the consoles just this past month. So now it's available on PS4 and Xbox One. It's called Dead by Daylight.
Yep, but there was one omission a lot of people on the console side were pissed off was not there. And yet it's going to be added back in.
Oh, cool. Was that in the PC version? I did not realize.
It was in the PC version. Well,
So apparently, part of why, I guess then the sequence of events would be that happened first, and then the Friday the 13th people acquired the Jason license, and then it got released. So what we're dancing around here is that apparently Michael Myers was one of the antagonists in Dead by Daylight on the PC version, and now that is going to be released as a DLC for the recent port to the Xbox One and the PS4.
Yep.
So essentially it's going to be two slasher franchises rivaling each other. Dead by Daylight plays very similar to Friday the 13th, although the reviews that I happened to watch before I even saw this news story, because I was watching them for the past week, because basically when I went to GameStop inquiring about Friday the 13th, he's like, you can do that or you can wait a couple weeks until Dead by Daylight hits, because that's much better. And but the reviews said that it actually is a bit stiffer and not as cool. But I don't know, so I have to do a bit more research to see if it's worth our time. But it is pretty cool that there's two different games where you can play people trying to survive a horror iconic slasher, i.e. Jason or Michael Myers, or you can be Jason or Michael Myers. Actually, I don't even know if you can do that in Dead by Daylight.
You can play as either Michael Myers or you can play as Laurie Strode.
So really?
Exactly.
Snap.
So you can do a little Jamie Lee. Turn around,
so
Jamie
Laurie
Lee.
Strode
Turn around,
for
Jamie
Michael
Lee.
Myers or Tommy Jarvis for Friday the 13th. It's pretty cool.
Bringing it back,
guys, all of our horror dreams are coming true right now. All of the 80s slashers that we loved, we're able to play as those now. That's fucking awesome. Anyway, Fuego, story number 3.
Story number 3 will be a Halloween connection, ironically. That's why I put these right next to each other. Nice. So Carpenter last year put out a graphic novel, which was called Tales for a Halloween Night, and apparently he is now developing that as a Sci-Fi Channel original show. I think it's going to be, if I recall correctly, some original stories and ones from the actual graphic novel itself. Yeah. So
so does it involve Michael Myers?
Unfortunately not. These are all original stories, so it's like a distinctively different property, and I know that might not excite some people.
Tales for a Halloween, and it's done by John Carpenter,
but it has nothing to do. That's a long-ass title, too, man. Tales for a Halloween Night.
Oh, Tales for a Halloween Night. That is a long title, but you're going to have Halloween in the title and John Carpenter involved and not deal with Michael Myers at all?
Well, maybe they could somehow negotiate the rights and he appears in one like they did with the Freddy's Nightmare shizzle, but Sci-Fi Channel, people are trying to change our opinions about the Sci-Fi Channel. When we were bitching last week about the fact that Deep Blue Sea 2 is going to be a Sci-Fi Channel original, we had commenters that were like, they've been putting out some good content lately, man. You guys should really
Blood
give them
Drive? Is that what they're pointing to?
Oh, boy, I hope not. Blood Drive was kind of a drizzle of lameness.
And yet someone was like, you guys don't understand Grindhouse if you didn't think Blood Drive was Grindhouse.
I've seen Hobo with a Shotgun. I've seen Hatchet, Machete.
Machete
Kills. Pecs,
and Grindhouse. You know,
I love the first half of Grindhouse. I love all the fake trailers.
Admittedly, I haven't seen a whole lot of the old 70s Grindhouse movies, but this, we said, well, we're not going to rehash.
We don't have to. We don't have to. But I just don't have a lot of faith in the Sci-Fi Project at all. Just based on the track record of the channel.
I'm warming up to it.
No.
I'm warming up to Sci-Fi.
Well, if there's more blood and they're dropping
I've watched a lot of their shit over the years.
No.
I've watched a lot of their shit over the years. I loved, fucking Warehouse 13. I loved Warehouse 13 and I loved Eureka. Okay. And those were Sci-Fi shows.
And actually, Channel Zero is Sci-Fi also, right?
I think you might be right. I don't know for sure.
I just finally started that series. I think that's a Sci-Fi original, and that show is killer so far.
And I'm excited to watch that too. Like your glowing review makes me really want to watch it. So.
Yeah, we have to get a retro review going before the second season of that appears. But hey, Sci-Fi is dipping their hands into more horror despite their name. So it's kind of interesting how they're trying to change perceptions, and they still have that show about the weird imaginary donkey we talked about, the blue donkey. It was a comic book that you read. Yeah, so that is still coming. They have that new George R.R. Martin.
That's a sci-fi one too?
That's more sci-fi. Wow. Dude, they're really trying to change their programming.
That's Grant Morrison.
Right now.
That's different. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good on sci-fi then. Someone must have...
Maybe they can start cranking out
They
good
must
shit.
have slotted some... They must have hired someone that's been a fan of all this stuff and loved sci-fi, but also knew the detriments of the sci-fi channel, and so now they're trying to course correct.
Yeah.
And I'm all about it.
Yeah.
More power to them.
Same
So
here. Yeah.
let's move on to the next story, and that's the fact that we got some further news regarding the supposed Spawn reboot that is
still supposed
in the works. Yeah, because it's been in the works for a while, but now we're finding out that the delays are not coming from the studio side, but instead they're coming from the McFarlane camp. And that is to say that Todd is insisting on directing the movie.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because he did not direct the first one.
No, not at all. And he's having trouble finding financing because of the fact that people are really, they're like, okay, you're a visual master and you can write the story, but can you direct a movie?
And honestly,
if he's having trouble finding, I mean,
thinking
maybe
about
the
it
script
now,
isn't that good.
But thinking about it now, he is a visual master. He was a he's been a kick-ass artist
Spider-Man.
for 2 decades. Spider-Man and all the Spawn stuff that he did. Like, he's done a lot of amazing stuff, so why not? Why not let him do it?
And he's not even looking for a big budget, dude. He's like, I can probably make it, and it's going to be lower budget. Like, give me like $10 million, and I'll direct this, and we'll do it. And yeah,
that's worth it. That's worth it. That's worth it. It would make $10 million. How much did the first one make? It must have made at least 30.
I think it underperformed at the box office.
But it still must have made at least 30. It looked like they spent like 80.
I think it was still profitable. I mean, you and I both agree, if I recall correctly, that the HBO series was the best on-screen incarnation of the character.
Well, and then there's Todd himself says that he wants to take the tactic that the short film that hit YouTube a few years back took, where Spawn was just a boogeyman. It was a little kid, and Spawn didn't show up until the very end. So it's not Spawn's story; it would be someone else's story, but Spawn would be in it.
And that felt like one of the later Spawn series where he was almost...
The Undead.
Yes,
fucking
that was
the best 9 issues of Spawn, and some of the best 9 issues of anything that's ever been written in superhero comics.
And yet Todd didn't illustrate or write that. That was just people kind of playing within the universe.
No, but it was so good. Like, there's the 2-issue story arc. Every issue was every story arc was one issue, except for one story arc that was 2 issues, and it was about it was about a paraplegic that got embroiled with Spawn and reincarnation and his ex-wife and stuff, dead wife. I mean, like, it's so amazing, and I cried reading that series, and that 9 issues was so fucking amazing, and it's why I love Spawn as much as I do. I have every appearance of Spawn ever. Like, I'm such a huge Spawn fan. I haven't been able to give it up, although it's been tough to stick with for the last 100 issues or so.
Yeah,
it's been really tough.
Is the Savage Dragon guy still
no, Eric Larson's no longer doing the artwork. It's back to the guy that was doing the sort of photorealistic crime noir stuff beforehand.
Which actually
Simon Krudzansky or something like that.
Okay. Just that reference alone makes me wonder what the status is of the Sam and Twitch show that Kevin Smith is presumably
it's still going.
Still adapting.
No, it's still going, and that's the thing. Sam and Twitch have come back big time in the comics.
Okay.
We're up to number 274.
Phased them out for a while.
So the next issue to be released is 275.
Damn.
Big anniversary issue, and that means we're creeping up on 300. And I think I'm going to hang in until 300 and then cut it off if it doesn't get better.
Al Simmons is back, right?
Al Simmons is back.
I stopped reading,
but he's back.
After
but he's Al again. He's human again. He doesn't have his powers. He can barely call up the costume, and the costume can't protect him like it used to.
Interesting.
So it's not quite the same thing anymore.
I was a diehard Spawn fan for about the first 100 or so issues. Maybe.
Yeah, that was the best. The first 110 issues.
Up to the whole Malbolgia
when he finally confronts Malbolgia. Yeah. It's possibly the strongest first 100 issues of a comic. Like, it was so good.
There's just so much building storytelling. Check out Spawn. Get some of those like omnibus editions or something, guys, if you have not read it.
They're amazing.
It's been around for a while.
Check it out.
Woo! So the next
and watch
one,
that short film.
Yes, exactly.
What's next?
It's damn good. Next one is going to be a little bit of Anne Rice news. So everybody heard recently, and we talked about it on the news a few weeks, couple months ago, something like that, that the rights have been acquired to all of the Vampire Lestat novels, and there is not going to be a new big screen version. It's actually going to be small screen. It's going to be on television now. And so Anne and her son Kristopher are developing this series, and so apparently they're having some casting trouble because she took to Facebook, and she does that often.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she took to Facebook to say, who do you guys think should be the new Lestat? And
I actually like that. I find it refreshing.
So?
Sorry,
yeah.
I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're good, dude. No. And so there was a lot of suggestions. There was people saying everything from like a Bill Skarsgård, which I thought was kind of ironic. They were going old, they were going young. And
yeah,
that's
but that would be good. He'd be there for a while. He could be Lestat for the entirety of the run of movies.
Because he's supposed to be ageless looking, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got that going on.
Yeah, I love the first 5 novels. It's been a long time since I've read them. I read up through Memnoch, and that was like the first cycle of sorts. Tale of the Body Thief is badass too. But
really?
yeah,
that's where that was weak.
That's where Lestat switches bodies with somebody, and yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. But I have lots of friends who adore anything Anne Rice does. I mean, she eventually crossed over her Witch series with the Lestat stuff, and so.
Oh really? Yeah, my sister's a big fan of Anne Rice, so.
Yeah, as is Brandon. So yeah, but man, I'm not that excited about this project personally. You know, I mean,
it was too love story like. What have you? I hated Queen of the Damned. Vampire Lestat was really good, but it was still
where he was the rock star.
But it was still really, it was still really slow.
The adaptation was bad. I will definitely agree with that. You know, I was not a fan of the Queen of the Damned film, the one where
no, that's what I meant. The film, not the book. I never read any of the books.
Oh man, the
film was good. The first movie was great. The second movie sucked, but the first movie was still really slow to me. So I would.
Back to that.
I'll watch it.
Back to that meandrous horror that you love so much.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, who do you guys think would be a great Lestat? Tell us in the comments below. Give Anne Rice a suggestion if you care to.
Exactly. So next up, apparently Netflix has ordered an 8-episode second season of Castlevania quickly on the heels, basically within the first week of the first season. And I say that in quotation marks for a reason.
4 episodes.
It was 4 episodes, and it didn't fucking achieve anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a full review with Dirk on the channel and anyone else that gets time to watch. It's 4 20-minute episodes. It's really quick.
It's only 20-minute episodes?
Yeah, dude, it's less than a full-length feature.
Damn, yeah, there was a lot of criticism for this. They were like, visually it looks so good. It laid the groundwork so wonderfully, and then it's over.
Visually, it's no better than Spawn.
Really? Okay.
The Spawn HBO show from 20 years ago is just as good as this.
Well, it looked in a similar kind of Japanime style.
It's very similar. But the gore was good, but the story was an unsatisfying. A couple of the episodes were boring, and it's like, no, you needed to just approve a full 13-episode season to do this right, because
talk about testing the waters, dude. Like,
Jesus. The gore was great, the action was fun, but there wasn't enough of it, and it was unsatisfying.
And I know it's adapting because I have yet to watch it, unfortunately, because it just went up a couple days ago. But I was told that it's adapting my favorite game in the series, which is Castlevania 3: Dracula's Curse, because you got some Trevor Belmont in there.
Trevor is the main guy.
Yeah.
Alucard shows up.
Oh, okay. But yeah, son of Dracula, Alucard. I mean, he was in Symphony of the Night, and that is, according to some people, the best in the series.
Well, that was fun because I didn't know who he was. So when he appeared, like, they didn't know who he was either, and he explained himself, and I was like, oh shit, this is cool. And
it's
so
Dracula spin
that's
backwards.
That's how the fucking thing ends. Is they form their trio bond to go to try and take on Dracula, and it's like, here we go,
So it's a cliffhanger.
But there's not like the only action that happens is in 1 and 3. Like, well, that's not true. There's probably a little bit of action. It was so carrot dangling to me. It was just a bit of a bummer, but
dangling carrot.
I'm excited to hear that we're at least going to get 8
and...
episodes next time, because Jesus, this was frustrating. Hopefully they'll finish the goddamn first story.
Yeah, and it was developed by Adi Shankar, I want to say his name is.
Which is awesome. He's the one that did the Punisher, the Power Rangers short, the Punisher Dirty Laundry short, the Venom short. He did the Venom short,
dude.
The Truth in Journalism.
Guyliner going on.
So if you guys haven't watched, seek out Dirty Laundry. That's the Punisher short that Adi Shankar first came onto the scene with. Then he did Truth in Journalism, which was the Eddie Brock Venom short that he did. It's about 9 minutes long.
Wow, okay.
And then he did the Dark Power Rangers short that was very probably instrumental in getting a full-length feature to go.
Yeah, it had Dawson in it. James Vanderbeek.
Well, and Starbuck. from
trying to remember too.
Battlestar Galactica. But yeah, so I'm excited to see more Castlevania done right, giving us a bit more of a satisfactory ending, hopefully. But that's enough about that. Fuego, what's next?
Yes, I know. So next one is a series that I love the first season, second season. I just wasn't quite as hot on until we got some ashy slashy going on. That was funny. But Bruce Campbell was at the Saturn Awards being interviewed recently, and he dropped some info about the third season of Ash vs. Evil Dead and how his daughter is going to be coming into play. Now, it's funny because there is an unused story element. Spoilers, just briefly. I guess it's not even really spoilers because of the fact that it never even showed up. But Kelly was originally going to be his daughter. He was going to find out that there was a little tryst when they were doing the time hopping stuff at the end of the season.
Oh, that would have been good.
I thought that would have been good too, especially with the kind of bond they have. But but apparently they're bringing like the whole Ash having a daughter thing to this third season, and so he's going to just randomly find out. Got a teenage daughter. She's kind of a bitch and kind of nutty, and the Deadites are going after her, and so as he described on the red carpet or whatever, he's like almost like the mafia, man. You know, they go after your family, and so that's at least bringing something different into play. And I guess since Pablo and Kelly are going to be a little bit older now, they're not going to be like the teen sidekicks anymore. There's going to be a new damsel in distress aspect, and so
they were supposed to be teens.
Well, who the hell knows? The person on the red carpet was like, "Oh, so it's more teens being added to," and he's like, "Oh no, they're all grown up now." And so that was at least what he said during the interview. So I'm excited about the season. I'm hoping it's at least a slight bit of an improvement.
I didn't mind the second season apparently as much as you did. I liked it. I thought the dad stuff was a little bit aggressive, but I'm glad that they nipped that in the bud relatively quickly. Although apparently Lee Majors is returning for season 3.
Yeah,
so.
Even though he died. So, well, spoilers. Sorry.
Jesus. It'll probably be Deadite version or Ghostly version or something like that, or Visions.
They brought back Ted Raimi, and he was playing the crazy old woman from the original film. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait, he played that part again?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it looked exactly the fucking same. That's awesome.
Yeah, nasty makeup work and stuff.
No, that's really cool. I'm super excited about it. I'm with Ash every step of the way. But the other part of the story that I wanted to mention...
Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to or not.
Yeah.
Can you just talk freely about it now?
I think so.
Guys, not an NDA or whatever the hell?
Not anymore. I mean, I tried to check in on... Well, fuck. I don't know for sure. But... nonetheless, Bruce also mentioned on Twitter this week that he referred to the fact that his short-lived possible reality show was not in fact happening. They were going to do some sort of reality competition show that he was going to be the host of. That is no longer happening, and the addendum to that is that I was actually in consideration for the show.
Yeah, you got your callback, sir.
I got a callback. I did a full 30-minute Skype interview with them and got a bunch of email follow-ups that I had to answer more questions and give them more information. So I was in the running, and all the way up until we found out that the show had decided to, or not that the show had decided to not go, but because of varying issues, the show did not go. Probably a network just not picking it up. It didn't go, and so that's the end of it, unfortunately.
Sci-Fi Channel, you dropped the ball on that one, y'all. What the hell?
It would have been really, really cool. I was super excited about it for months, and then as the months and months went on, past the deadline of when we were supposed to find out, it didn't look good. And so that's the case. The show is not going to go. You will not be able to see my bright and shiny bearded face on TV, at least not in that iteration. But
bigger and better things coming, I would
exactly.
imagine,
so, but yeah, so that's the end of that story. And finally, that leads us to the final story.
This is one you're excited about.
I am excited about it, and we're almost at wrap-up time, so it's perfect timing. And that's the fact that Ryan Murphy released an image on Twitter just this week, basically proving that Twisty the Clown is making a return in Season 7 of American Horror Story.
In some capacity.
In some capacity. The picture was actually a hand holding a Twisty the Clown comic book. So considering its election, and thus probably taking place in more modern times, and Twisty the Clown took place back when Freak Show was happening, which was, I think, the 30s or 40s or something like that.
Yeah, it was definitely 40s, 50s,
40s,
somewhere
50s,
around
maybe, something like that.
Yes, very ancient time-wise.
Exactly. So there's no way he could still be alive, but apparently John Carroll Lynch, who played Twisty the Clown is coming back, or John Carroll. I'm not sure. I think it's just one of I don't know if it's his full name or whatever. But anyway, the guy that played Twisty in the first one is apparently supposed to be coming back. Don't know how it's going to happen, but that's exciting, especially for me because if you guys are fans of the show that you know, I cosplay as Twisty the Clown.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do it in like a year because Twisty's been out of the picture for a while, but it's not, it's not super show accurate, but it's the first Twisty the Clown cosplay that was basically up on YouTube at all with our Chasing People Around on Mill episode from 2 years ago. But
good memories.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And so I'm happy to be able to bring him back out. I'm actually looking at the costume just off camera in the wardrobe behind the camera. We can see the clown costume hanging there, so I'll be able to bust that out. But I'm excited. Fuego, now having watched American Horror Story, what do you think of this?
The entirety of it. I'm just curious how they're going to implement it. There was a lot of suggestions that it was going to be more like Easter egg kind of thing as opposed to like a big, blatant,
How can it be an Easter egg, though? How can he be reprising his role if it's just a comic book cover?
I have no clue. Ryan Murphy, what the hell are you doing, man? I'm very curious about this season of the show. I actually really liked Roanoke a lot more so than I was anticipating, especially after binging the entire series, and I wasn't that impressed with Freak Show. I was not that impressed with Hotel. Although I loved the second and the third season of the show. I mean, it's something that I'm glad I finally got enlightened about, because it's so iconic in the industry of horror. So, I mean, I'm not so big on the election theme. I'm not sure how they're going to implement Twisty, or how much they could.
What if Twisty was like the Trump analog's advisor?
Oh, I can see them doing something like that.
That'd be fucking awesome.
I'm purposefully independent. I'm not a politics person, but the fact that they're bringing it into the show is where I'm just kind of like, yeah, really? But they've got all the regular players there. Paulson's going to be back, Evan Peters. I mean, lots of cool new additions,
Dennis
too.
Haysbert, I'm sure. Or not Dennis Haysbert, Dennis O'Hare, I believe is the name.
Hopefully, yeah, he was great, man. I
been great
actually loved, dude. His transgender role in Hotel was maybe one of the best roles on there, man. I thought he was
great.
Yeah, he was awesome. So, I guess that will
that's gonna wrap it up, y'all. Woo! That's gonna do it for this week's Horror News with Booze. Let us know in the comments down below which story you are the most excited about, or what you thought of all the stories in general. We welcome long comments, so feel free to leave a book down there. A lot of us will read it. We appreciate it. We want to get this conversation going. We're actually off to, as we record this, go watch Spider-Man Homecoming and hopefully do a review for Infuegotainment for it. And then we are going to be watching a early screening of Wish Upon, which will be released. Probably it'll be on the channel before you guys, before this is aired. So we're excited to see that. Who knows how it's going to be? It's only PG-13, so who knows how that's going to go? We'll see. But for now, thanks very much for watching the Horror News with Booze. We greatly appreciate it. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, Jaime Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.